Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be updating our paycheck budget number 2 for the month of July. And I originally wasn't going to record this because, I don't know, I find that when I do these budget with me's and closeouts too much, I find that it can be boring. But I thought this time around it would be a little bit interesting, especially since my husband's income for this paycheck budget is way less than what we expected. Well, I shouldn't say way less, but it's less than what we had expected. But before I get into updating my budget, I do want to say that if you are on the same boat or when you do experience the same thing where your income is less than what you had expected, there's a couple things that you guys can do. Number one is to make it work. Make it work with what you have without dipping into your emergency fund, which I'll get into in a little bit as well. Yeah, so make it work with what you have. I find that when you budget bi-weekly, it's a little bit more doable compared to when you're budgeting monthly for the full 30 days. I find that that's so long of a period. But when you're budgeting bi-weekly, I think cutting back for 2 weeks where you can until you get your next paycheck is completely doable. We've done it in the past where literally our variable spending categories was food, transportation, household, and that's it. So yeah, make it work with what you have. Or if you have an emergency fund, and if you do not have an emergency fund, please get started on funding your emergency fund. I would dip into that to replace your income. Please don't be, what do I want to say? Please don't feel like you can never ever touch your emergency fund. This is what it's there for, to replace or to cover, unexpected emergencies like this, or to replace your wages that you have lost. And you can always replenish it later once your income goes back up, which is what we usually do. Is if we dip into our emergency fund, we will go ahead and replenish that. But yeah, in the beginning, I never ever wanted to touch our emergency fund because I feel like we worked so hard to fund it. But when things like this happen, that's what it's there for. Use it. Or another option is, so one, you can cut back, make it work with your budget, with whatever you have. 2, dip into your emergency savings. Or 3, if you have sinking funds in place and you do not need to use, any of your sinking funds right away, dip into that. If you don't want to touch your emergencies, you can always replenish your sinking fund later, unless you really have to use, one of your sinking funds soon, like it's almost back to school over here for us. So we're going to be using that. But yeah. So what we're gonna do for this paycheck period is, since I don't know if you watched my budget with me for the month of July, but I think I mentioned that we are going to be closing our medical and dental sinking fund, and we're going to use the funds for that to also open up the 3 accounts that we wanted to open up, that we've been wanting to do for a while. And that is our Roth IRA for my husband, start investing. And we're going to go with the Fidelity Index funds. I think I don't know what it's called, but we pretty much know what we're going to be investing in. That's what we wanted to fund. And then we are also going to be opening up a college savings account as well. So we were going to split the $875 and fund all those 3 accounts. But for this paycheck period, we're going to see, I'm going to take a look right now and see where we can cut first, and then maybe see if I need to dip into emergencies or just take it out of that medical and dental sinking fund. And I think that's what I might do. So we're going to do a combination of cutting back where we can and also using our sinking fund to fund that amount that we have lost. So let me take this over to the yearly overview really quick. Yeah, I already put in my husband's income right here. We were expecting $2,050, which, by the way, is already lower than what we were used to budgeting before. He consistently before was getting about $2,500, $2,600, but he's not doing any overtime right now. And also, we got his 401k fixed, and he is contributing to that. So part of his income is going there also. So $1,742, that's pretty low. I don't think I've seen it go below 2,000 in a really, really long time. So that is about, I think it was like a $300 difference. I think I wrote it down. It's $308 difference. So we are gonna look in July. So what we're gonna do is take a look at July and enter in my husband's income on here, and I believe so 1742 and wait, yeah, and 43 cents. And then yeah, so we're $307 less than what we had expected. And then our actual beginning balance, I did already close out our paycheck budget number one because I did want to have an exact amount that we would be carrying over. I don't believe it's going to be $300 that we'll be needing to transfer from our savings. We'll see, because this is actually more that we're transferring over here. And I mean, not transferring over, that we're starting with here in the beginning balance. So here, you guys can see that we're under $257.87 compared to what I had originally planned for when I budgeted this in the beginning of the month. When I started this paycheck budget. So looking down, I do remember that we need to save, we need to for sure have this amount in here to cover our bills for the next paycheck budget. I did talk about that in my monthly budget video because it's going to be one of the months where, it's where our rent is going to be due. So that's like our bigger bills, I feel like, in that paycheck budget. So we do need to make sure we carry over 622. That cannot be cut or changed. I still would like to keep my cushion in there. And then as for variable expenses, I believe I'm going to go ahead and cut kids stuff because they have their own money. We've actually been letting them pay for their own, or I shouldn't say letting them, but we've been having my older son use his own money to pay for his clothes that he needs because he's outgrown them all. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 0 on there for right now. For 2 weeks, I don't think we need anything for them for 2 weeks other than vitamins, but we're just going to put that under healthcare over here. So I'm going to go ahead and 0 that out. And then for transportation, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at 55. Gas is going up over here where we are in Southern California. So I'm leaving it at that. Food, I'm going to see if I can cut back on that, but we do have to, our fridge is empty, freezer is empty. We've been kind of eating whatever we have. So we have quite a bit of staples that we need to get and stock up on. So I don't want to cut that for now. I do remember that we did have the savings, which I'm going to put 0 for now. So I think that's it that I want to cut so far. I believe, what do I have? I need, says I have a leftover amount of 124. Oh, that's planned. That's my planned amount. So never mind. Let me go ahead and change this so I can just see what I'm working with. 17, 42, and 43 cents. This part right here is used for like in the beginning when I'm first setting up my budget, just so I see what like how much I have left to put in certain categories or savings. So yeah, that's why that's there. I just like to see how much I need. So as of right now, it says I'm at negative $133.87. So that's how much I do need to replenish our budget. No, that's how much I need to transfer from our savings to cover all of these expenses here. So 100, I'm going to write that down because I'm going to transfer it over. I'm going to transfer the entire medical and dental account, savings account anyways, but I do need $133.87 to stay. I'm just going to even that out to 135. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so in my savings tracker, this is all updated. My medical and dental is at $875.51. So from that, I'm going to take 135. So $740 will be left to fund the 3 accounts that we are going to be opening, which is our investment account, our college savings fund, and then my husband's Roth IRA. So that is what we're going to use. We are not dipping into emergency fund just yet, or not that we need to anyways. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go to July and put in here from medical, dental, sinking. I'm going to put 875 in there. Let's go ahead and put that in here as well. So now here it brings us to $741.13. So now I'm going to add in those accounts where I'm no longer going to have this one anymore. Looks like I'm going to have to add in some rows over here. So we're going to do my husband's Roth IRA, and then index funds, and then I don't know the name, so once I figure it's the Fidelity, I think S&P 500 index funds. I'm not quite 100% sure, although I should be. I know it sounds really bad right now, but I will put that in there once we have that all set. And then college savings. We have been looking into the UTMA, and then the 529. Honestly, we're leaning towards the 529, and I might, explain that later on, but that's what we're kind of leaning against or leaning towards right now. So I just want to get it open and funded. So let's see. We're going to go ahead and put, so what did I say? So 875 minus 135. So then we have 740 left. I'm going to go ahead and just do 100 for college. For now, we are pretty blessed that my godmother, my ninang, she's been sending us $100 for the boys. So I'm going to use the money that she's been sending us, and in addition to that, we'll also be contributing as well. But I do want to kind of focus on these two here and grow that. So I want to do, let's just do 300 here and then 340 here. So that's what we're going to do. Let's just put 300. Maybe I shouldn't put it in the actual column until I actually fund these amounts. So let's just go ahead and delete that. And then I believe this one's missing a formula. So let's just write that down. So I believe that should zero us out. Yeah, we're left with $1.13, which is okay. Maybe I'll put that in my cushion over here. But yeah, so let me just put 101.13 just so we can zero out. And again, for those of you guys who are new here, we do budget bi-weekly. It's every 2 weeks. That's when my husband gets paid, is every other Friday. And we do use a zero-based budgeting method, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to zero out all the time. Just as long as you know or have a purpose for your money, and it's not just a free-for-all or it's just there, you can spend it whenever you want to. It has to have a purpose. Anyways, you guys, that is pretty much it that I wanted to cover in this video. I hope that this was interesting for you guys, and I truly hope that it was helpful, especially for those of you out there who are experiencing the same thing where your income isn't as much as you had expected it to be, and what you can do about that. So yeah, again, if you don't have an emergency fund, please get started on funding that emergency fund, even if it's like $5-10 a month or paycheck. Trust me, your future self will thank you for it. And yeah, anyways, you guys, thank you guys so much as always for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. Have a good one.